Welcome back, folks. I am Jon Najarian, and I apologize for not being able to get you 3 at 3 yesterday on the 20th. I was a guest lecturer at the Tulane School of Business. I think it's called the Goldring School of Business. I'm not positive of that, so my apologies. But it was my third time being the guest lecturer there. A lot of smart young kids or young men and women. And it was a lot of fun, but it ran right through 3 at 3, so I wasn't able to get it up. But today we have a fresh 3 at 3 for you. And this is the 21st of October. Of course, it is regular expiration tomorrow, the weekly expiration. So let's get to it. Unusual activity. Yep, we use our scanners, the heat seeker, as well as our sentiment scanners to find unusual activity. And when we do, we present them to our subscribers. If you're watching this live, you are one of our subscribers. If you're watching this delayed after the market closes, you should be a subscriber, and then you would get it live. And that's any level of subscription to unusual option activity, or UOA, qualifies you to get this live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time every business day. Just looking back real quick at SoFi, because boy, did this one work out, huh? SoFi, they were buying the tomorrow expiration 19 calls when the stock was 19. Then they bought the 21 calls when the stock was just below 21. And now they continue today aggressive buying of calls in SoFi. What did it look like early on this morning? Something like this. That's a look at the heat seeker. We're seeing those 21 calls, 16,000 of those changing hands versus 10,677 open interest. Same thing with the 22 calls, same thing with the 2150 calls, all the way up to the 30 strike. Don't really know if we're going to get to the 30 strike, but since those are January, maybe we will by January. This one has been a windfall for all of you who have it and have had it. I salute you. It's a great trader. We also had Pinterest, which I know many of you were delighted about because we talked about it, posted it up on this blog. There you see it from the 14th of October. I believe I talked about it on air that day, and I did it for unusual activity, 3 at 3 that day. So 12,000 of those October doubles. So that's the 55 calls. They bought those for, let's say, an average price of 30 cents. How did they do? Well, take a look. As the stock popped yesterday from 52 to $66 a share, what do you imagine those 55 calls are worth at 66? $11. The right to buy it at 55 when it's trading at 66 is worth the differential between those two areas, and that would be $11. So you took a 30-cent trade and turned it into $11. Just an amazing 3,600% return. That's right, 36x return. And look at that turnover. The day before, the 19th, it was trading about 11 million shares. And on the 20th, it traded 113 million shares. Better than tenfold increase over the prior day, and still trading an awful lot today as we approach 20 million share turnover again today. But we have taken our profits. And even though PayPal is allegedly bidding 70 for it, we are already bye-bye, thanking everyone for the nice ride. All right, let's get to today's unusual activity. UAA, this is Under Armour. Stock was just right around $20.90. They bought 6,500 of the October 21 calls. So those calls, I did this one for my final trade on the halftime report today from down here in New Orleans. Yeah, that backdrop, that's the hotel behind me. UAA, 29th of October, that's next Friday, 21 calls. I am in this trade, and I was already in Under Armour. Second trade, DIDI, Chinese stock, Chinese ride sharing service, call it Chinese Uber. DIDI stock bottomed in the, I think, $5 and some odd cent range, if memory serves, and memory might not. But as far as where we are today, they're buying in November 11 calls with the stock shy of 9. So you know the drill. I buy at the money and sell upside calls. I'm not going to ask this stock to work that hard to get back up to 11. Keep in mind, though, that when they brought it public through the IPO, it was higher than that. So we are riding this wave as we have ridden the wave in several of the Chinese stocks, whether they're internet or infrastructure or education, or in this case, consumer discretionary, if you will. We are in DIDI calls. And this one also, BEKE, I believe also Chinese internet stock, or some sort of a Chinese company, had moved up. Look at that first time when we told you about it on the 15th of October last week. 7,500 of the December 25 calls, stock was under 22. Now the stock today pops to and through 25, and they buy and roll up to 5,500 of the NOVE 35 calls. So they've got earnings in November, could be an earnings play. It's also somebody that is smart enough to roll up, and when they do, we do. So we are still in BEKE, and we are rolling up, although not to the 35s. But as you might imagine, I was at the monies a week ago and selling upside, and now I am in the 25s and selling upside. That's the way I play. Bang. If you have questions, folks, about anything regarding what we talk about on Twitter, on the halftime report, whatever you'd like, I'd like to try to answer those questions. Perhaps if you send me some of those for tomorrow, I will do that. You can send them at Jon Najarian on Twitter. That is @ JONNAJARIAN. Thank you very much, folks. If you are watching this delayed and you say to yourself, would like to get this live again, how do I get it live? Well, you can subscribe to one of our several unusual option activity products. We call them UOA. If you do that, you get weekly trades. You get live webinars that are restricted to just you, the subscribers. You get a trading community as well, where people post back and forth on the blog. So if you'd like to get all that, check out marketrebellion.com/UOA live. That's marketrebellion.com/UOA live. And you can see the various levels that you could subscribe to. Some of them might be too much for you, both in terms of cost and in terms of how many trades, because we might post 25 or 30 trades a day. If that's too much for you, even though you, of course, have to decide which ones are appropriate for yourself, if that's too much for you, we have a service that's less trades than that. So we have UOA Elite, UOA Pro, and so forth. Go on over to marketrebellion.com/UOA live to get more, or dial up one of our lovely trade support people, 888-809-8058. That's 888-809-8058. Thank you so much for tuning in today, folks. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to pretend that this is my first time in New Orleans, even though it's, of course, my 100th time or something. And I'm going to go over to Bourbon Street. So I hope you have a great afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.